Now, as I said earlier on, we will hear from Adam Booth. Adam has worked with David, has known him probably for 20 years or 18 years. He's been his trainer for 11 years or 12 years now. They worked together when they were amateurs the last couple of years after David had left the Fitzroy Lodge and was floating international fighter he was. Remember, David Haye was the first British amateur to ever reach the final of the World Amateur Championships, which started in 1974 in Havana. And Adam has been with David since then. He's worked with him. He's also the man that said, I won't let him fight too long. And he's not a brave trainer, Adam Booth. He's not one of those guys that's oblivious to his fighters getting a hiding. Anyway, I caught up with Adam, and the first thing I asked him to do was confirm David's weight.
14 stone 12.
And is that about where you want him to be? Because he looks in, well, staggering shape.
It's the weight that I've wanted him to be ever since he's gone up to the heavyweight division.
It seems to me that, we've been hearing great things about how he's been preparing. It seems like it's all true. It seems like everything's fallen into place for this fight.
Yeah, there's so many factors involved in this, and to go through it now would be too tiring. He hasn't been able to run for his last 5 fights because of loads of different issues.
Length, was that speed running or just running period?
Any running full stop, which is why we started using the Versa Climber and other things. It's the first time in the last 5 fights he's been able to run.
So was that? That's Derek just going to the front stage. So was that because of that break? Was it the break that's allowed his body to heal?
Well, we'll assess it when it's all said and done. That's got to be one of the factors. Has to be.
Now, once you had agreed to this fight, were you monitoring him day by day, week by week, just in case there were any signs that the year off had had an adverse effect?
Well, every second of every session, I'm looking for things that aren't right, and that's all I can do. I'm not thinking about how long he's out the ring. I'm just looking if things are how they should be, and if they're not, just keep pushing, keep adjusting it until eventually it is. And I couldn't be happier with where he's at. Also, mentally.
Yeah. Now, was that early in the training regime, or has that fallen into place the last 2, 3, 4 weeks?
No. He knew right from the start that this was a fight that was going to be a battler style or something he had to readapt to. And so he was putting in rounds in the gym sparring a long time ago.
Is there a danger that you could have possibly underestimated Chisora?
I certainly haven't underestimated him. I know that this is potentially David's roughest fight of his career because of the style and because of the size of the fella and just because of the sheer mindset of the fella as well. And you look at as well as the history and the story, you put all those factors together, and to think that you're not going to be in for potentially a rough night and a hard night would just be about as ignorant as you can get.
And can you clear up this 12 or 10 round thing? Lots of confusion over this 10 or 12 round thing. Was it always 10 rounds?
We have a contract that was signed months ago that was for 10 rounds.
It's just that everyone seemed to think it was 12.
We certainly haven't said that to anyone.
No, and as Frank Warren said, no one ever asked.
No, maybe that's why because they both fought at championship level, at world championship level, which is 12 rounds.
So do you see 10 rounds or 12 rounds being an advantage to either of the fighters?
To be honest, you can make arguments both ways. I think people keep looking back at the Carl Thompson fight and saying that David's got stamina problems, but that's just so ignorant. Because if you look at his knockout ratio after the second half of the fight, but listen, but it's what people are saying. It's fine. This is a fight for David to win, re-establish himself, and more importantly, satisfy himself, so that when he goes to bed at night, he can shut his eyes knowing that he did what he should have done in the ring.
So that's a bit of redemption.
Oh, big time. It's burning him, the fact that the second half of the Vladimir fight he failed to perform and he failed to stay aggressive, and this time round I've just made sure that he hasn't overcompensated it by being too aggressive.
Good. I'm pleased you said that, because I had Gary Logan on the show the other day, and both him and I went along with that word. And most people seem to think, oh yeah, I don't think it occurred to them. To me, it was obvious.
But it's a personal thing. It's for him alone. Yeah. It's all. As long as he knows that he's done what he should do in a fight, and been what he has always been ever since the day he walked into a gym, which for some reason in the Vlad fight just disappeared.
Sure. Well, we talked about the Vlad fight. He gets caught with some terrific shots, including a fantastic right hand in about the 5th or the 6th round, when he's less responsive in the corner afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. And in all fairness, most opponents go down from that, or have gone down from that.
That was a shot that Vladimir turned his shoulder into, leant forward on his front leg, and it was the shot that leading up to the Vladimir fight I was terrified of.
Yeah.
and he brushed it off. Really, he brushed it off as though nothing happened. Because if you look when the shot landed, he dropped his hands, clapped his hands together, and goaded him to throw again. So, you know, he can take a shot. He's got the biggest heart of anyone. For people to think that he doesn't have heart is just a load of bull.
I mean, I'm going to say I find it insulting. Do you find it a bit insulting that people still go on about lack of stamina, lack of chin, lack of heart? Does it annoy you?
No, not really. Because
tell the truth, because it really annoys me.
No, because I'm happy with firstly what he's done in his career up to this point, and how. If you look at his career up to this point, it's been nothing but a monumental success when you think about where he started. And secondly, the condition he's in, and the condition he's got himself in, and the desire that he's showing to want to be in there and be in a real fight again. So no, I'm happy.
So it's a big break now between the fight. I mean, you've got about 55 hours off before you have to leave for the venue. Does that take any type of different planning or scheming in your head? Because generally you'd weigh in, you'd go and have something to eat, and it'd be 24 hours before fight time.
No, because they're heavyweights that you're not making weight.
Sure. So it's not an issue.
And you know, and he is what he is. He's had 2 meals today already. He doesn't dry out. Heavyweights don't need to do that, and all we're going to do is just keep doing what we normally do. The only difference is that tomorrow we don't have to go to a weigh.
We don't have to go to a weigh, and I spoke to David after that as well. It was all a bit sort of private, and he was quite happy with that extra day. In fact, Johnny Redpath and various other people have been asking about this cut, this reduction to 10. Well, I hope it's clear. Frank Warren said, you know, it's been bubbling for a while. It's finally resolved, and Adam said it was that way all along.